Many things in the modern world are a mystery to me. Why anyone thinks Mark Ruffalo has on-screen charisma. Why McDonald's weren't permanently reinstated Szechuan sauce. Why I should have been particularly saddened by the death of Wade. And why no one at Marvel seemed to understand that Thor Love and Thunder was going to be a comedic misfire. Strangest of all, and perhaps strangest to Jane Austen herself, is the way in which the writings of Jane Austen, turned into films, have become strange cultural petri dishes for identity politics and empowerment and inclusivity. In the strangely candy-colored, strangely horny spectacle that was Bridgerton, the camply reimagined Georgian England seemed to have a fair proportion of black people, many of whom were in high society or social climbers. The same thing happened to Charles Dickens, and perhaps most bizarrely, a black actress was cast to play the role of a Viking noblewoman in the 11th century. All of this is part of a new trend of colorblind casting. Casting actors regardless of their heritage may seem to allow for more diversity on screen and in theatre. However, a growing number of critics, left and right, believe we should be considering race rather than ignoring it. The latest installment is a film version of Jane Austen's Persuasion. Two characters frolic and gabble about their social prospects as if it isn't completely incongruous that people from their background would be in this very specific historical regional environment. Colorblind casting isn't without its critics. Opponents, whether viewers, commentators, or directors themselves, have often claimed that casting people of color in stories from the past compromises historical accuracy. Part of the argument is that most films, TV shows, or plays are about things like the human condition and suffering. If that is the base level, then why on earth would we be reticent to cast people that have a different skin color, especially if the story is fictional? The problem with this, essentially, is that it's kind of a load of bollocks. For a start, it often just looks plain jarring and takes you out of the visual experience. And although "only talent matters" is a catchy mantra, colorblind casting is dangerous in the same way the phrase "I don't see race" is dangerous. The casting, like that in Persuasion, works at a high school level where you want to get people involved, and verisimilitude and historical accuracy don't matter so much. But in a way, that's exactly what this film adaptation of Persuasion looks like. There's something almost incredibly guileless about it, and something also quite priggish about the expectations it places on us as viewers to subdue what we see as race, and only judge and esteem the performances. If it is out of bounds for white actors to portray roles from different ethnicities, but fully within the bounds and even empowering for minority actors to inhabit white roles, isn't there some sort of implication here about the nature of whiteness itself? That it is less fixed, more malleable, more abstract, that it exists less as a condition or state of being, that it requires less of one getting one's bearings or navigating what it is as an identity. There's something quite unlikably reductionist about this view. The whole notion of colorblind casting opens up a weird relativism, where it isn't quite certain what the rules are exactly, or where to draw the line. Would someone who's an advocate for colorblind casting watch a production of Othello where Othello was black and the actress playing Desdemona was also black? Most importantly, there's a huge array of possible stories for black actors and actresses to express and inhabit and explore, just because there's a huge library of literature written by European authors, which actors of other backgrounds might find excludes them, isn't satisfactory enough reason to open up this strange relativism. And there's one last, really strange element, which is Jane Austen and her world is by far the whitest of the white, and that makes it really jarring and strange to watch. This kind of colorblind casting just doesn't lend itself to giggling and virginal and cavorting young ladies in Regency England. Rather than being empowering, it just kind of makes me want to cringe on behalf of everyone.